When you're gay, right, you come out of the closet. You're afraid to, right? Because you're afraid of what people will think. He's proclaiming, coming out of the closet, whatever you want to call it. I'm a Christian now.
Pretty ridiculous that people are trying to force him back to the lifestyle that he was struggling in.
Do you think he's gonna switch Kim Kardashian over to Christianity? Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome yourselves back to the In Sync podcast. Today is going to be the future of Kanye West. I'm here back with Lucas. He's back. We're also going to be doing the future of Coldplay, Selena Gomez, and so many other people. So stay tuned for that. And every single Thursday, we do song reviews. So if when Kanye drops music again, we'll be the first people to do it on YouTube, and any music in general that you love, we'll be the first people. Without further ado, though, let's get into this. So, the future of Kanye. Now, but before we get into it, this is also going to be our thoughts about the new Kanye album, obviously, because that's really what we're gonna base what we think his future is gonna be off of this. But the reason why this even becomes a discussion, other than like I said, because of the album, the reason this becomes a discussion is because Kanye is not the same Kanye he was before this album. Kanye has changed, his music has changed, and therefore his future has changed. Now, if we think his future is going to be bright or not, we'll get into that in a second. But we can definitely say this now, without a shadow of doubt, well, a little bit of doubt if Kanye switches this around, but I could say now confidently that his future is going to be Christian/gospel music, and that affects a lot of things. Of course, he might switch it up and be like, all right, I'm not a Christian, just because I know Kanye is kind of he's kind of interesting in that sense. I could just who knows, you know what I mean? Who knows what will happen? But Luke, I gotta ask Luke before we kind of get into it. How do you feel about Kanye doing Christian music in the future? So not Christian music now, because obviously we'll get into what we thought about Christian music now, but based off of what you've seen, how do you feel about Kanye doing Christian gospel music, whatever you want to call it, in the future?
Well, I mean, it's definitely cool to see him go to his religion, and I mean, it really does seem like he's really turned to Jesus, and I mean, he released a whole album called Jesus is King. It's mainly Christian. It's all Christian stuff, and I mean, you have some big producers in there. You have Timbaland in there, and I mean, there's a lot of people involved in these songs. A lot of famous people involved with these songs. And producers that are pretty big involved with these songs too. And it's really cool to see Kanye go to his religion, because you don't see many secular artists nowadays do that.
Yeah.
Rarely ever, actually. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of people just do that. And he is a little bit bipolar, as we've seen, as he's said openly. Yeah. But I'm glad to see he's finally starting to... I mean, it's just cool to see him go to his religion.
Yeah. So you're glad he's gonna be making Christian music in the future, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am Christian too, so that's definitely cool.
So I'll ask you these two questions.
Yeah.
So number one, do you think? Well, I'll ask you a first question first, and the second question second. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking this. This is probably what a lot of people are thinking in general, and this will probably even have to do with the title of the video. But do you think Kanye is a sincere Christian?
He's definitely trying. I mean, if you're trying to be Christian and you're really trying your best, I mean, sincere Christian. If you're actually trying to do what God says, and you're actually trying to make an effort, then yes. And I believe he is. I mean, he's releasing an album, and he's really giving it all up to God, all of his problems up to God, and he doesn't care what people think. He doesn't care what people think, and that's true. And that's one thing. It seems like we've seen over the years with Kanye. He doesn't really care what a lot of people think. But it seems like he's definitely giving it all up to God. This kind of gave up his secular career a little bit, because I mean, Christianity has been attacked.
Exactly.
by a lot of people.
And
a lot of people have attacked Christianity, and from the make a Christian album and do this is very brave of him. Very brave of him, and he's given it all up to God, and I think he is really trying to be trying to be a devout Christian.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's trying to be.
So the answer to my question is yes. You think he's being sincere, and like you were saying, very true point there. Like from some Christians, he's making them be like, oh, this is really cool, but his broad audience, his broad fans, hip hop fans, he's not gaining anything here. You know what I mean? He's not gaining anything.
I mean, you look at Lecrae too. Lecrae has gone both ways in the charts because he's a great rapper, and two, I mean, he writes catchy songs. If you're Christian or not, a lot of people like his stuff.
Yeah.
And it in this area, I feel like not only will he I think he'll chart in the Billboard and secular market too. Because one, it's Kanye.
Well, he has.
So
the thing is,
it's probably gonna chart.
Well, listen, the thing is, his album did really, really well, but his personal image is what's taken a hit because of doing Christian music. Technically, not the sales, but I think what it will affect sales-wise, charting-wise, is his next stuff. People were looking at this to see, is it gonna be legit, and because it was Christian and from a secular person's standpoint or a non-Christian person's standpoint to God and wishy-washy, which obviously we don't agree with, but that's what I've heard, they're going to look at the next one and be like, I don't want more of this. I feel like I'm being preached to. So I think overall it took more of a hit on him than a gain. So you mentioned Lecrae. Now the thing with Lecrae is people take him seriously. People don't take Kanye seriously. You get what I'm saying? So this just made people, because he supports Trump. It's ridiculous that people are like that, but they're entitled to their opinion, right? And for a lot of people, I feel like their opinion has been heightened even more. That no, Kanye, you're letting your fans down, and you're being, exactly the opposite of what you used to be, a Christian versus not a heathen, but a non-Christian, and kind of, not, he never was liberal, but just kind of a certain, like, he's supporting Trump now, so he's just kind of defying those two things that most people in the world are not for. Hip-hop people, you know what I mean, his core fan base. If Lecrae was a secular artist and he had millions and millions of people, and then he did Christian music, he would take a hit. But Lecrae, people take him seriously, and he's always done Christian music. People know it's real. People love it. But Kanye making this switch like this is like, it's honestly not a good move for his career. If he wanted to heighten his career, he'd make some fire banger rap tracks with freaking Drake and Lil Pump. I don't know, not Lil Pump, J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a big hit.
And touching on what you said about him supporting Trump, what I don't understand is everybody in Hollywood is so for, really do whatever you want.
Exactly, bro. That's such a good point. That's such a good
We've
point.
seen the LGBT get a parade. We've seen them get a month to themselves. We've seen they're allowed to support Hillary, whoever they want to.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All mad if he supports Trump, especially if he's black, which is kind of stupid, because there have been a lot of comments as of late
yeah,
that have criticized him because he's a Trump supporter and he's black, which is a little bit.
Even if he was white, they'd still.
It's the hypocrisy here kind of irritates me.
Yeah.
And this is what, like, if you say anything out loud at all, then they all get mad. People all get mad at you, call you bigot. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, but they can get
People
on him
need to
first.
grow up
They can
and let him support who he wants to support.
Yeah.
At this point.
I get what you're saying, and
There are
make what
plenty
music he wants to make too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I mean, it's not like he's doing a bad thing going into Christian music. Now he has lost a lot of money in his concerts and his tours.
Yeah.
But
some of it's brought on himself.
But you also look at Kim Kardashian, and Kim Kardashian's net worth is pretty big. So I don't think he has to worry about money right now.
That's true.
It's kind of
But it's always
even though he's losing money in his tours. Kim Kardashian is still married to him, and they still have money. So it's not really people have used that like, I have heard people say what you've said, that say that it might not chart and might hurt his career, but in reality, he's still gonna be rich because he's married to one of the Kardashians.
Yeah, I mean,
and at this point, I think it's kind of like you're allowed. Hollywood supports you being allowed to believe whatever you want.
yeah.
Let him be a Christian. Let him believe. I mean, don't be a hypocrite. Don't be hypocrites, Hollywood, people of Hollywood. Don't, like, attack him because he wants to be Christian, he wants to support Trump.
There's...
Now, I normally don't talk about politics, but this is ridiculous.
No, you're right.
And, I mean,
and
it's kind of stupid that people would see... it just bothers me. But music-wise, I feel like this might hurt his career.
Yeah.
Because like we've said, like we've seen, like a lot of people have seen, whether you're Christian or non-Christian, Christians have been persecuted, and I mean they've been called out, mocked, and all that stuff, and we've seen it over the years.
Yeah.
We've seen it for a long time, and it's kind of sad that it's like that because there's not really a reason. I mean, Jesus never did anything wrong, so it's kind of weird that they're doing that. But I think it will affect his secular charts, but I think he'll start charting on the Christian radio, like the Air One, K-Love. I think he'll start appearing on there a lot more now that he has a Christian album.
So that's an interesting thought. But before, because I'd like to talk about that as well. But no, just kind of to close up the conversation of people not. I mean, well, the thing is if I'm being honest, there's actually a decent amount of people, and I'm happy for them for this. They're saying, I don't like this album, but it's not because it's Christian, but it's because of how it is presented. This album is not perfect at all. There's definitely some things that are good with it, some things that are bad with it. I mean, it could be a little more complete in my eyes. Everybody's getting on about the mixes and saying the mixes. I love the mixes, except for one song. With Ty Dolla $ign. But the thing is like, yeah, people cannot like or like anything, but if it's in contrast with them, like with what they're saying, then it's just hypocrisy. And like, let Kanye let him do what he wants. But if you're gonna, like I said, say this album sucks because you don't like how it sounds, that's cool. Like, that's fine. You mentioned K-Love. This is not gonna get on K-Love, bro. This is the exact opposite of hip-hop and the exact opposite of Christian music. It's like in the middle. It's like this hybrid. And Christians are just as hypocritical and judgy about this as non-Christians. In fact, probably more, because it's not authentic, in quotes, authentic Christian music, and because it doesn't sound like everything else on the Christian radio, because everything else on the Christian radio sounds exactly the same, except for like Bethel and some other people. And before I get your thoughts,
Bethel also sounds a lot like.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, some of. Yeah. Well, yeah. Some of their stuff, some people's stuff is different, and a lot of people's stuff is the same. But before I get your thoughts on this, about the whole K-Love thing, yeah, I just couldn't see this being on K-Love, because Christians are saying, oh, he's not being deep enough or whatever, and like, yeah, it would be cool. And this is what a lot of non-Christians and Christians are saying. It would be cool if Kanye really went in depth about his Christianity. But you gotta understand, Kanye is coming out of the closet as Christian. Like, I know that term is used for gays and all of that, and I'm not even trying to be like I'm not even trying to be like jokey with it. No, I'm serious, bro. Like, okay, when you're gay, right, you come out of the closet, and you're afraid to, right, because you're afraid of what people will think. He's a Christian. He's proclaiming, coming out of the closet, whatever you want to call it. I'm a Christian now. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, I wonder what his stuff is going to sound like. You can't expect him right away to have deep, thought-provoking lyrics on why he's trusting God and why God is real and this and that. He's a new Christian. I mean, if he had been a Christian for years and years and years, and he always made Christian music, then maybe you'd expect something. I mean, yeah, I would have liked something a little less surface level about how Kanye is talking about God, but he's talking about his journey of coming to God. You know, I think him going deeper and deeper in God, and just into it more about God this and why he helps me through this and and sexual stuff, why it's not good and all of that, because he doesn't support it anymore. All that different stuff, that's going to come with time. But you guys got to understand, like, just like a new whatever person, a new person who's proclaiming or doing something different at first, it's not going to be 100% deep. It's not going to be like 100% because he's probably still working out his own faith. Like, he's not, even me now, if I was to write a Christian song, I couldn't make it super deep and intellectual. Part of the Christian faith, who those of you who are not Christians, part of it is not hearing it from someone else. It's experiencing it yourself. So you guys just gotta understand that yes, it would be nice if Kanye had a little more deep and a little bit more meat in the lyrics, and it kind of wasn't just like I like God or whatever. But like, you gotta understand, he's a new Christian, and in the future, yes, I'd like to see more deep stuff. But you can't be saying that when all of rap and pop music is not deep itself, and when most Christian music isn't really deep either. You can't expect Kanye, because he's a new Christian, that he has to prove himself that he's a Christian to you guys. Like, you get what I'm saying? Look, people, I've seen this everywhere because I've watched review after review after review. People are saying, well, I don't like the Christian aspect of it, not because I don't like Christianity or because I'm not a Christian, but because Kanye didn't explain to me and he didn't give me the meat, and he wasn't like, oh, God is like, bro, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he has to watch what he has to say, and he can't just be blabbing and being bipolar and having big breakouts. But as far as the content and what I was saying, like, do you agree? What do you think about that?
I don't see how anything can really go wrong as long as he doesn't say anything controversial.
Yeah.
As long as he... And the problem is, I mean, he's already said a lot of things that have triggered people and have been controversial already. Not to do with Christianity, at least not from what I've heard. But that, I feel like people don't want to give him a chance after he's done stuff like that and said stuff that's kind of bizarre or kind of weird or just pisses people off. But I think it's kind of stupid that people don't want to give him a chance to try to get some redemption and try to fix up his life and all that. I mean, I don't really understand that, and that's what a lot of people are targeting him for. Like, I see on all the meme channels of, like, he had this commercial, President Bush doesn't like black people, and all of them are like, oh, bring this Kanye back. I mean, I see it on Ratchet clips. I see him on just about every meme page. It's always like saying, bring back this version of Kanye, the old Kanye, the Kanye that's controversial, that pokes at people, that, I mean, that does stupid things. It's kind of ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous that people are trying to make him, or trying to force him back to the lifestyle that he was struggling in.
It's retarded.
And it's just corrupt. And it just shows how Hollywood is, how people who are against Christianity, against, I mean, it's really kind of sad. Like, they want, like, people suffer. It's just like a game to Hollywood. They're gonna put it in the magazine. They're gonna try to get as much dirt as they can and just rub it all over people. And that's what makes me so mad. Makes so many people so mad, because in reality, these are normal people like us.
Yeah.
They might have money. They might be big artists, but they're normal people like us.
And they can find God, and
yeah.
You don't have to agree with it, you know. And he can. Well, the thing is, I mean, he could say something controversial. I think he can do whatever he wants, as long as he does not directly contradict, like, the Christian faith. And even if he does, who are we to judge? We've directly contradicted the Christian faith. So unless he denounces it, you know what I mean? Like, and there's...
But, like, yeah. But, I mean, if he says anything controversial, it's going to backfire big time on him, because now he's made this whole turn that he's going to be a devout Christian now.
Like you said, we're all humans, though. People can't hold him to that responsibility. He has responsibility, but that's an unrealistic standard that he has to, you know what I mean? Like, yes.
I mean, yes. We have to try our best to be like Jesus, but you can't like say something that's totally against the Bible. He's really gonna need to study the word.
No, yeah, for sure.
And it's, it's definitely one of those things. I it's amazing to me how some people think some people can't have spiritual journeys with
Yeah.
Christianity, because I mean it's really ridiculous
Crap
that
them, dude.
anyone would say that at all. Yeah, crap. Anyone would say that at all.
Yeah.
It's really kind of weird, and I mean it's just weird, bro.
Yeah,
It's very
it
weird.
is. It is, man. And look, before, because I don't want to make this too long, guys, but before we get into like talking, what do we think his future is going to be? Because we kind of talked about the present and kind of what this is going to create for him. But before we go to that, just for like a couple of minutes, like 2 minutes, I want to ask you a question, and I'm not going to give my opinion on it because, to be honest, I don't know. But I think your answer would be pretty valuable. Do you think he's going to switch Kim Kardashian over to Christianity? Is there any chance, man?
I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm not sure. Maybe Kim Kardashian could be turning Christian too. Who knows? Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't.
It's so hard because
Yeah.
in her defense, her business is showing off her body, so she kind of have to throw away part of her career if she wanted to follow it properly. But then it's like it's tricky. I don't really want to get into like what would qualify her as a Christian if she was to become one. Like, she'd have to do this, she'd have to wear clothes properly, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Sean, I think it's not like she needs. Yeah, she probably will lose people if she becomes a Christian.
So many, dude.
Because, and I mean, but it's not like she needs her business right now anymore. She's worth millions of dollars.
I know, but you can say that.
And
But
at this point, it's like, I mean, it's such an enormous amount of money, and I mean, it's crazy. Like she won't have to like work at all.
I know that's how you and me think, bro. But that's not how like most celebrities think.
I mean, I'm stating facts here, bro.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
I mean, like you put $1 million in the bank, the interest that grows on there. I mean, you get all that money. it will probably go to at least like 2,000 a month, and it could support you. And she has like way more than $1 million. She's worth way more than $1 million.
Oh yeah.
So she puts that in the bank. She could live off that for the rest of her life, and won't even have to take any out of it.
Nah, for sure. But you know what I think she will do? I think what her and Kanye will do, I do think they will. I do think in a I don't know. I think that I'm stuttering here because I'm not exactly sure how I should word this, but I guess I would say I think they're gonna work to raise their kids in a good way, and I'm sure they always have. So maybe a little more conservative, like, I don't know. I think there definitely is going to be something going on within their family, and I just hope it's, and I pray it's good. But let's okay. Here's the thing. So we talked about all of this, right?
Yes.
Now his future. He's supposed to drop another project Christmas Day, which according to my calculations is it's November, freaking 2 months, right?
Yes, bro.
Well, a little under 2 months, but anyways, so he's gonna drop another project, and if he's gonna keep doing Christian music, what does that mean for his future? Do you think he'll get really, really, really good at this? Because we can say whatever we want, but this album is not like, it's not phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really, really good. It's not like the pinnacle of anything. Do you think he'll get better and better at gospel music? Do you think he'll stick with gospel music? Do you think this will kill his career? Do you think what do you think?
I mean, some people can be raised on gospel music at an early age, and I mean, maybe he was.
Well, hold on. Let me just. Sorry, I didn't want to interject, but I was just because you kind of asked the question. He was raised a Christian. Then he went away, right? And he's coming back now. So I just want to say that. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be. I think he will be getting better at gospel music. Not that it's not like he isn't.
You can always get better.
Yeah, you can always get better. But I think this is more of a statement than anything else. I do think this will chart chart on secular radio. I do think this will chart big time on the Christian charts. And I mean,
Really?
it's kind of like Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton recently released "Jesus Has a Tight Grip," and I mean, he's the face of country music by far. The fact that he did this was a
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so he made this new Christian song, and it's doing pretty well right now.
That's crazy.
And the fact that he did this, I mean, it just shows how it shows that these artists who are secular, who make these who make secular songs, are starting to turn to Jesus here. We have a lot of artists starting to do that.
To be honest, I asked you the question, right? And you think it's gonna be good. I do think his future is gonna be good. But I just don't know if he's legitimately only gonna stick with gospel. If he's gonna switch it up. I don't know. All I do know is I do think he's gonna get even better and take the criticism from this album, and I think that his next Christian albums are gonna be good. But I don't know what it's gonna mean for his career, or if he's only gonna do gospel. I mean, he said he's only gonna do gospel, but right, he's bipolar, right? I don't really know exactly what all of it's gonna be. I could see him easily being like, okay, I kind of want to do straight up rap now. You know what I mean? But you think his future is gonna be good?
Yeah, I definitely think his future is gonna be good, because now I feel like he's fine. He's really, I mean, I'm a Christian, so I'm very glad that he is turning back to God, and he's getting into that lifestyle again. And I feel like this will really help his life out, because now he's really focusing on something that really legitimately matters. I mean, the Bible is all about love and kindness. And you look at that, that was Jesus' message.
Yeah,
and
I just
right now I feel like,
I just hope that people give him more chances. I hope that he does not contradict himself, and I pray this, that he influences more people, young people and artists, to maybe not be Christian. No, you don't gotta be Christian, but at least to think about maybe leading a cleaner lifestyle, because this is the exact opposite. I listen to a lot of rap. This is the exact opposite. So I hope either way he's doing a good thing here. But yeah, let us know what y'all think about this, okay? We're gonna do the same thing with Coldplay, Selena Gomez, so many other people. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, every single Thursday. So like in 5 days, we're gonna do song reviews. So we react to all the new music that comes out. So if it's gonna be Kanye, like I said, Christmas Day he drops music. I don't think we're gonna review it like on Christmas Day, but probably the day after. Maybe, I don't know, who knows. So when Kanye drops new music next, or your favorite artist, whoever, will be the first people to do it. So stay tuned for that by subscribing. You know what to do. Luke, you got anything else to say, bro?
Nah, broski.
Yeah, check out Lucas's channel in the description. Lucas, thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, big props to Kanye. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.